Now, on Monday, we heard from Inspiring Women Steering Group member Jane Tomlin as the awards were launched and the window for nominations opened. Now, this is only the second year, but it is hoped that it will be bigger and better than the last. Mind you, last year's winners really set the bar very, very high, and that includes the overall winner of the Mo Molam Award. And she is Stacey Phoenix, and amazingly, she is so difficult to get hold of. Stacey, hello.
Hi, Julie.
Now, the interesting thing about you is we thought, oh, good, you're on leave, so we'll get you in.
I'm on leave today, yep.
But actually, what are you doing now?
I'm currently ringing you live from the Combined Court Centre. I'm in the middle of 2 court hearings.
Dear me. Now, this was the amazing thing, because I remember listening to the citation written about you last year, and I genuinely asked. I remember shouting across the room and going, do you sleep? So what is it you get up to?
I sleep quite a lot. I need sleep.
Get away, I don't know where you fit it in.
Well, I think I was surprised as to why I won the award last year. I still struggle to see what I do
really
as any more than and what most people would try and do. But I do different. Obviously, I'm a family solicitor, so that's my main job. But as part of that, I've set up law clinics, pro bono advice schemes, supported domestic violence charities. And the LGBT community charities around parenting support.
Now, of course, one of the problems that we have as time goes on is that financial help for people sort of at the bottom of society has been taken away. So the free or funding available for legal advice is becoming more difficult. And to an extent, you've sort of stepped in and thought, well, do you know what, I'm going to help anyway, haven't you?
It's so limited, and I think when the changes came into force, I think it really just opened my eyes even more about the people that were going to miss out from that. And a lot of the work I do around victims of domestic abuse and the sort of people having to go into court and not have that support and not have that advice. But equally, parents that are wanting contact with their children or grandparents that are wanting contact with their children that normally would be able to be entitled to funding to get it into court were no longer available to. And sometimes it doesn't need court proceedings. Sometimes it just needs some sensible, practical advice at the outset, which can avoid all of that. And hopefully that's what some of the pro bono clinics have managed to fill the gap, really.
And as I say, you can't see it, and that really is what these awards are about. It's about people like you who are doing a fantastic job, and people like us who are voting for you.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think what I was really humbled at the awards, and I think I said that as much as I'm a solicitor and I stand up in court and do my job, I'm not one for public speaking or being centre of attention. And the awards were very humbling to see the other people that were nominated and the other people that won the awards, and just to be a part of the day and the celebration. It was a wonderful occasion.
Now, who voted for you? Oh, sorry, who nominated you? Do you know?
I don't. I never actually got to the bottom as to who nominated me, which is really interesting, but also makes me very suspicious of people, because people around me and people that know me know that this would be something that I would never put myself forward for or accept willingly. So it was a huge surprise, and when I got the invitation to attend the event, I was overwhelmed at just even being nominated. So to win was just a complete surprise.
Now, as I say, I remember you coming up for your first award and the citation was read out, and it just seemed an almighty list of things that you do. How do you manage to juggle it all in? Because bearing in mind you're now working on your leave.
Yes. Well, there's obviously a lot of commitment. And I think a lot of the charity events and things that I do are out of work hours and on a weekend. So working with Mind, The Junction, things like that, the local charities that I'm really keen to support, I tend to do on a weekend or on an evening. But a lot of the pro bono time comes out of my work time, and I'm really lucky that I've got a a boss who accepts the way I am and accepts the way I am in terms of setting things up, and it gets on board with it. And I couldn't do what I do without the support of all of the staff at work who get on board with my crazy ideas of beach walks in the middle of winter and charity drives, the food bank drives that we do. It all comes down to bringing everyone together and everyone else being a part of it as well. So I may be the organiser, but it wouldn't work, would it, if people also didn't donate and give things?
Oh, indeed. Now, what is your driving force, really? Because I suppose when people think of solicitors, they think of people sort of, quite high up, they're quite rich, they're sort of... They're not... Are you being...
Sorry, no, that's the tannoy at the court system. I apologise.
When people think of solicitors, they think of sort of untouchable people, if you like. People perhaps from middle-class backgrounds are quite high up. They've got money. They're not like you and me. So what's your sort of driving force?
I am a Redcar girl, born and bred. My mum worked extremely hard to bring me, my brother and my sister up. I think I had a very close-knit family, very close-knit community, and I think that's my roots, that's where I come from, and that will never change, doesn't matter what job I do or anything else. And I started this job because I wanted to help people. I didn't have a clue what I wanted to do when I was younger, but I always knew that I wanted to be around people and helping people, and this job gives me that chance to do that. So I think sometimes the opinions of solicitors, the opinions of professionals isn't always necessarily the truth.
Now, of course, in your position, you have had that nomination and you did win, which was absolutely fabulous. But with the way you work and the people you work with, you must also see people who you think, oh, God, they really need to be nominated.
I could, absolutely. I could nominate half a dozen people just off the top of my head, because the people that I get to see and get to work with, the time and commitment that they give up to the things that they're passionate about. And if we didn't have that, where would it start from? It's got to start from one person having the ideas or having that commitment and drive. If you look at any of our local groups, community centres, even the charities, there's usually a driving force there that gets people behind it. And I think that's the point of these awards, is at this time, in this area, we need that. We need that community spirit more than anything else. And we have it, in abundance in Car in Cleveland. We have so many people to be proud of. And I think the awards is just that opportunity to say, actually, do you know what, thank you, because what you do for our community, what you do for our area, well, we'd just be lost without you.
You're not wrong. You are absolutely not wrong. Because without the greatness of people like you, this show wouldn't be what it is. And it's because I talk to people like you all the time that just blow me away. And I think, wow, the stuff that you do is just amazing. Now, if somebody was sitting there listening now and thinking, actually, I do know somebody who I could nominate, what would you say to them?
Just do it. Download the form, and don't worry about what you're going to write or how it's going to come across. Just write from the heart. Write down the exact reasons why you've just had that thought that person deserves the award, because that's what the nominations are about. It doesn't have to be, an essay written in the best way. It just has to be from the heart.
Now, what did it mean to you to actually take not only an award, but the top award, the Mo Mowlam Award? How did that make you feel?
As I said, I'm Redcar, born and bred, and I think everyone in Redcar knows the importance of Mo Mowlam. I remember Mo Mowlam coming to my school when I was younger and giving speeches and talks. So to win the award that is to celebrate Mo Mowlam was just really overwhelming. I think for me the biggest part of the day, I make a joke of not knowing why I won, etc., but was to have my family there with me, and especially my mum, because they gave up so much for me to be able to do what I do now, and they see very little of me as a result of all the work that I'm doing, and I'm constantly asking for donations or for ideas, and I think I couldn't do it without their support as well. So it was not only recognition for me, but for me to be able to say to them, thank you very much, and it was a nice event to share with them as well.
Stacey, you absolutely are a worthy winner. You have set the bar very, very high for this year.
Oh, thank you very much, Julie. Well, I'm looking forward to coming along, and hopefully we can coordinate our dresses again like we did last year.
Oh, yeah, we did. That's right, actually. I mean, you look considerably better in yours than I did in mine, unfortunately. But, can't have it all. Now then, we're obviously doing a phone thing because you are currently working on your day off. So at some point, I'm assuming you're going to allow yourself a day off where you can come in.
Yes, definitely. We will definitely get that arranged, and I will look forward to. I would much prefer to be sat in the beacon now than running around like a headless chicken here, but needs must.
Well, thanks so much for taking the time out, Stacey.
Thanks, Julie, and thanks for having me on.
We'll see you soon, most certainly.
Okay, take care. Thank you.
Take care. Bye.